Hey guys, we're going to talk about a few things today. First of all, we're going to talk about eighth notes. So this is on page 20 of your book. Excuse me. So if you look at the top of page 20, really quick, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. You'll see the yellow box up there on the top, and each one of those little notes are an eighth note. Okay. So look at the left side first. You'll see there's a number and an and I think of this kind of like a rectangle. So if you think of one whole beat, one quarter note basically, as a whole rectangle. And then you divide that exactly in half. Each one of the smaller squares, smaller rectangles, are going to be like an eighth note. They're going to represent an eighth note. Okay? So there are two eighth notes in the same amount of time as one quarter note. So each eighth note, as it says on the yellow box, takes up a half of a beat. So a quarter note is one whole beat. Each eighth note is a half beat. And 1/2 plus 1/2, thinking about a rectangle, equals one whole. Okay? If you look at the middle of the yellow box, it shows you where the quarter note is, and then it shows you where the first eighth note would line up. So there would be a quarter note, and the eighth note would be in the same place, and then there would be an eighth note in between where the next quarter note is. So there are two quarter notes, like beat 1 and beat 2, for example, and the eighth notes down below would be 1, because there's still a beat 1, and there's an and, we call it and, then beat 2 for the third eighth note, and then another and after that one. And if you have more eighth notes in a row than one, like 2 or more in a row, they beam them together, connect them together, and that's that little picture on the right hand of the yellow box. So if you have 2 eighth notes or 3 or 4 or any more than that, they beam them together. Okay, and you can see that on the next few songs. So let's look at number 66 real quick. Excuse me. Number 66 starts with 4 eighth notes and then has 2 quarter notes. So if we were going to count this, and it's below the music right there too, it would be 1 and 2 and for the eighth notes, and then we get to the quarter note and we would say 3. We would not say and, even though it's written in there on the music. It just shows you where the and would be. But we would not say and or clap it or play it if it's a quarter note, because the and is kind of inside that quarter note. The quarter note takes up an entire beat, which includes the first part, the number, and the and. If you think back to our rectangle again. Okay? And then the last beat is 4. It works the same way. So just 4, no and. We wouldn't say the and at the end. So that whole measure would be 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Okay? If you kind of keep the eighth notes going in your head a little bit when you do the quarter notes, you'll hear that the eighth notes, there are 2 eighth notes, the space of 2 eighth notes inside that quarter note. So think of eighth notes. Here's your eighth notes. Just think that, kind of keep that beat going in your head. I'm going to keep this going with my hand. This is my eighth notes, and I'm going to say the rhythm for 66. That's the first measure. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Okay? Did you hear there are 2 clicks, 2 eighth notes in each beat when it was a quarter note? That's how those work. Alright, so they're not really, don't think of them as being fast. Just think of them as taking up less space, less time. It's kind of like a limousine, a limo, versus a motorcycle. A motorcycle takes up less space. It's just shorter. Okay? Kind of the same idea. So, I'm not going to go through number 67 as far as like I usually do with the whole lesson, because I want to get to 2 particular pieces today out of the book. But I will go through the rhythm real quick for 67. It's the same as 66, so we're going to skip the rhythm of 66 and go straight to 67. The rhythm for the first 3 measures is the same rhythm we just now did. The last measure is the same except for the last beat, so it's very similar. The last beat is a rest, so we wouldn't play the last beat. So let's clap it with me, and make sure you say it out loud. This is 67. 1, 2, ready, go. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, rest. Okay? Go ahead and play that one on your own. Go through all our steps. So pluck it, say the note names, all that stuff. I'm going to go on so the video is not super long. Look at number 68 for a second. Number 68 is another rhythm rap, so it has a slightly different rhythm. We still have quarter notes and eighth notes. Quarter notes are still worth 1 beat, eighth notes are still worth 2 beats, or half a beat, sorry, so there's 2 eighth notes, I should say, in the space of 1 quarter note, but each one is worth a half a beat. So that rhythm in the first measure would be 1, 2, and 3, 4, and you heard on beat 1 and beat 3, it's a long note. So you could also think of this kind of as long, short, short, long, short, short. Okay, that might be a way to help you kind of remember which one's which starting off. So let's clap all of 68. The first 3 measures, just like the last pattern, are the same. And then the last measure is the same except for a rest on beat 4. So the whole thing is very similar. Let's clap 68. Ready? Go. 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 1, 2 and 3, 4. Okay? Now I got the question when we were doing this in class the other day. How can you have anything past 4? Because there's only supposed to be 4 beats in the measure. And that's true. There are only 4 beats in the measure. But remember, think about back to our rectangle. The rectangle represents one entire beat. So inside of that beat, no matter what beat number it is, 1, 2, 3, or 4, we still have a number side, which is the 4 in this case, and we still have an and side, which is the other 8th note. But if we take up the whole rectangle with one beat, with one quarter note, we wouldn't say the and part. We would only say the number part. So it's still in there. The and is still in there. That's why they wrote it underneath of there, even though you don't play it. It's still in there. We just won't play it or say it or clap it, because the quarter rest is still worth one whole beat, just like a quarter note is. Okay. 69 uses the same rhythm as number 68, so I'm not going to go over the rhythm of that, but make sure you know the notes for 69. It's just a D major scale, so all the notes we know so far from low D up the D string, and then switch to the A string open, and then up the A string. Excuse me. If you're on a bass, it starts on the D string, just like everybody else, and then you switch to the G string, so you have F sharp on the D string, then you have open G, then you have 1 on A, 4 on B, then you have to shift down on the bass to 2 fingers in 3rd position, and that's written on there for you too. It has the -2 above your note, and it also has the Roman numeral 3 below it. So the -2 means you're going to shift down. That's what the minus means. You're going to go down, and then you're going to take off 2 fingers. Okay? Because you're going from 4 fingers on the B, taking off 2 fingers. It's the -2 fingers to go down to the C sharp in 3rd position, and then put those back down for the D in 3rd position. Okay? So make sure you know the notes for the D major scale. We talked about this last time. On page 47, the very last page of your book, you have a fingering chart, and that fingering chart tells you exactly where all the notes are on each string. So if you're on a violin, viola, or a cello, you need to know where the notes are on the D string and the A string. If you're on a bass, you need to know the D string and the G string. Okay. Also, there are a few notes on that fingering chart that we don't know, like there's a regular F. We only know F sharp, but there is a regular F. There are some notes that are on different strings that we don't know. If you see one of those, just ignore those. Just make sure you only look at the ones that we've learned so far, because it'll confuse you if you look at the wrong ones. Okay? Now, here's the 2 songs I really wanted to get to, number 70 and 71. Number 70 is called Cross Buns. We've talked about tempo during class, but I'll mention it briefly here. Tempo just means the speed, so how fast the music is. There are 3 tempo words that I want you to learn right now in that yellow box on page 20. Allegro means fast. Moderato means medium, like the word moderate in English. These are Italian words, by the way. And then andante means slow. So the first song we have with the tempo marking is number 70. It's moderato, which means medium. So it's kind of a medium speed. It's not too fast, not too slow. Starts off with F sharp. So let's go through real quick and say the finger number, or say the note names. Sorry, say the note names. Don't forget there is a lift at the end when we do it with the bow. Just a minute. So clap and say the note names. 1, 2, ready, go. F sharp, E, D, rest. F sharp, E, D, rest. Now 8th notes. D, 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 E, 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 E. F sharp, E, D, rest. Repeat. F sharp, E, D, rest. F sharp, E, D, rest. D, 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 E, 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 F sharp, E, D, rest. Okay? Pause the video, go back and do that again on your own at least 2 more times. Just make sure you got it. Don't forget the 8th notes take up half the amount of time. They take up a shorter amount of time than quarter notes, so they go by a little bit faster. And then let's say the finger numbers for violins and violas first. Finger numbers, ready, go. 2, 1, open, rest. 2, 1, open, rest. Open, 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 open. 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, open, rest. And then you would repeat. I'm going to not repeat for now, just for the sake of time. That was violins and violas. Cellos, you're up now. Starting on 3rd finger, F sharp. Ready, go. 3, 1, open, rest. 3, 1, open, rest. open, 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 1, 1, 1, 1, 3, 1, open, rest. Okay? Basses, your turn. Now, so far this has all been on the D string, which makes it pretty nice. Basses, start with 4 fingers on the D string for the F sharp. Ready, go. F sharp, E, D, rest. Oh, let's say finger numbers. Sorry, my fault. Finger numbers. Ready, go. 4, 1, open, rest. 4, 1, open, rest. Open, 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 open. 1, 1, 1, 1, 4, 1, open, rest. Okay? No shifting on the bass for this one. It's all on the D strings. Nice and easy. Excuse me. Alright, let's pluck it together. So grab your instrument. And again, make sure you pause the video and go back and do all these on your own before you do it with me. Okay, pluck it, starting on the D string. 1, 2, ready, go. Rest. Rest, there's 8 notes. Rest. And then you would normally repeat, which I'm not going to do right now for the sake of time. Alright, grab your bow. Again, pause the video like I always say. Do that one again, pluck it again on your own. Grab your bow. I think I have enough rosin on here. We're going to start on the down bow, just like we almost always do. We have always so far. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, ready with the bow, go. Rest. Rest. 8 notes. Rest. Okay. We're going to do it one more time. Do it with me one more time because I want to get the lift in there too. So we will do it twice. We'll repeat it this time with the lift. 1, 2, beginning, go. Rest. Rest. 8 notes. Lift, repeat. Rest. Rest. 8 notes. Rest. Okay? I forgot to put my fingers down the second time. I played the wrong note for a second. Alright. Pause the video. Do that several more times on your own. We're going to go on number 71 called Claire de Lune. This one, the tempo is andante, which is a little bit slower. It's a slower walking speed. Claire de Lune uses the same 3 notes, D, E, and F sharp, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time going through those notes. If you need to know what they are, you can look back up at 70, or you can look back at the back of your book on page 47 at the fingering chart. Just know that you use D, E, and F sharp, just like you did for the last one. They're a little bit different order, but the same notes. Before we start, look at the first 2 measures and compare them to the last 2 measures, the 3rd and 4th measure. They should be identical, except for the lift in the 2nd measure, but the notes and rhythm should be the same. So really, it's almost like you're playing 2 measures and then repeating it, because it's the same thing twice. Okay? So, go through it. Make sure you do the finger numbers. Make sure you do the note names. I'm not going to do that for the sake of time. I'm going to go straight to plucking it. So once you've done that, go ahead and unpause the video. Hopefully you paused it. Go ahead and unpause the video, and we're going to pluck through it now. Okay? Again, these are all in the D string. 1, 2, ready, go. D, 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 E, F sharp, E, D, F sharp, E, E, D, rest. D, 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 E, F sharp, E, D, F sharp, E, E, D, rest. Alright? Pause the video, do that again on your own. Then when you come back, grab your bow. We're going to go a little bit slower. Use as much bow as you can. I know you may not have time to use the entire bow for the 8th notes because they're kind of fast. Use as much as you can. Okay, here we go. On the D string, starting on open D. 1, 2, ready, go. Lift. lift it at the end anyway, even though there's not one written in there, just as good practice. Okay? So those are the two I mainly wanted to get to today, 70 and 71. Those are the ones we're going to be doing for our concert, two of the ones we're going to be doing for our concert. Which, by the way, for anyone watching this video, hopefully all of you, the concert again is on May 20th. It's going to be at 6 o'clock. Be there at 5:45, so I can get you tuned and get you in the right spots. And then we will play through all of our songs, probably 4 or 5 songs out of the book. At the end, I'll give you one of these, and everybody will stand up. And you won't bow, you'll just stand there for a second. I'll get out of the way. All your parents will take pictures if they want to for about 20 seconds or so. And then I'll come back, give you any instructions I need to give you, and then you all can head out after that. Okay, so it'll be really fast, about 15 minutes long for the concert, but it is really important that everybody's there just so we can hear everybody playing together. Because if you're not there, then we'll miss your part. We need to make sure we have everybody's part there. If you have any questions, let me know. If you want to go on after you feel comfortable with these 2 songs, if you want to go on to the next page and start looking ahead, that's a good idea because we're going to go through all these songs the next time I have you in class. So try to get ahead a little bit if you can. All right? Any questions, let me know, and I'll see you next time.